changed. I changed. The game's over, Batman. I quit. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Roll Screen Team. I'm Andrew Thomas, I'm here with fellow Robin, Christopher Johnson.
Hello everyone.
And we're not done with Dick Grayson yet.
No, we've got another story to talk about, another important story.
Yep. We're talking about his episode where he quits, Old Wounds.
Yes. Well,
before we do that, make sure to find us on Facebook, the Roll Screen Team.
Yeah.
Where else?
Well, you definitely said YouTube.
Yeah. YouTube and where else?
You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, TikTok, and Lemonade.
And make sure to like, comment on our videos, and definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. It definitely helps.
And if you like our videos, definitely share them.
Yep. But now, let's get to Old Wounds.
Okay. Dick Grayson, the original Robin, recounts to the new Robin, Tim Drake, why he and Batman broke up as a crime-fighting team.
This was another good flashback episode.
Yes, and
this takes place after our Sub-Zero.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Yep.
Huh. Dang.
Yep.
Well, yeah, because Barbara is now full-time as Batgirl, and they both finally find out.
Yep. Speaking of which, talk about Kevin Conroy as Batman again. Yep.
Iconic. Definitive.
Yep. Of course, in the flashbacks, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Mainly not showing up to Dick's college graduation, because he's busy doing Batman stuff.
And being a bit more ruthless as Batman.
Yep. And then calling Dick up during his graduation party, saying, "I need you now." Which most of the time he never really needed him all that much.
No. But I guess now he demands it. He demands it.
Yep. Let alone that he beats up a fourth leg in front of his kids.
Yeah. To the point that Dick is pleading with him, like, dude, stop. His wife and kid are right there.
Yeah. At least do it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, showing the much more ruthless part of Batman.
Yep. Yep.
I mean,
and then he asks why Dick's so upset with him.
Because, I mean, yeah, the man may be doing, criminal activity, but he's still human.
Yeah.
His wife and kid were right there.
Yeah.
Don't traumatize them on top of him.
Yep.
They're innocent.
Yep. Though
it does turn out that, he did learn from that and gave that guy another chance.
Yep, as a security guard.
Yeah. Dude got to turn his life around.
Yep. And he also knew all along that Barbara was Batgirl. We never know how. We just learned.
He's Batman.
Yeah.
He's Batman. What more do we need to explain?
Well, and there's a comic where he found out when she was playing tennis that her skill was similar to Batgirl.
Oh, so it was a Tim Drake-like situation.
Yeah.
where where do I know that move? This makes so much sense now.
Yep.
I would have thought the red hair, the smile, and chin would have been a dead giveaway.
Well, how she helped him out in Sub-Zero. And she wasn't even in her Batgirl costume that the whole entire movie being captured.
I would have thought that would be a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
But I'm not Batman,
Yeah.
so.
And apparently him and Dick maybe made up, although it didn't look like it lasted very long from references to Batman Beyond.
It's been alluded to that it took a great deal of time
Yeah.
for that reconciliation to happen. It's hard to know how much time passes in Batman the Animated Series, so I don't know.
Yep. Let's talk about our star.
Yes. Lauren Lester as Nightwing, Robin,
Yep.
/ Dick Grayson.
Yep. It's mainly his story.
Yeah. And it's one of the rare occasions where we actually get to see Nightwing and Robin doing crime fighting together without Batman.
Yep. Yeah, because he helped get a guy who stole another guy's wallet. Well, mainly he helped Tim Drake, who couldn't catch the guy.
Yeah.
Coulda, woulda, didn't.
But I do like their banter. It's the opportunity to show one of Dick's major personalities that in the Bat family, he's kind of the big brother.
Yep.
And I do like that they show that characterization.
Yep. And they like the Nightwing animation.
Yeah.
Yep. Still not a big fan of the mullet, but
I think that was around that time in the comics.
Yeah.
Dick did have long hair.
yep.
So, plus it was the 90s.
Yep.
The mullet was definitely in.
Yep.
So
we flash back to his graduation to college, where his adopted father didn't even go. He was busy being Batman.
yeah, but at least his girlfriend and his butler were there.
Yeah. Yep. And him and Barbara seemed happy at that time. So Bruce had to mess things up. And you could also say that through implication through the Batman Beyond timeline.
Oh Lord,
Yeah.
Bruce Timm, stop that!
Yeah.
Stop it!
Yep. Yep.
Stop making him. Stop implying and then downright showing us Batman and Batgirl doing stuff.
Yeah.
And there's even a tie-in comic to that as well.
Yeah. Where that goes back to being the crap out of Batman. Much deserved.
Yes.
Yep. Of course he actually, like we said, he's trying to live his own life. He actually got like a fund from his parents when he turned 18.
Yeah, who would have thought that the circus pays very handsomely?
Yep.
Well, hey, they were the best.
Yep. So he wasn't going to sponge off Bruce anymore. So that's also one of the reasons why he had the money to go to Bloodhaven.
And start his own adventures.
Yep. But of course he didn't like getting called to go be his warrior, to go help fight the bad guy of the thing. And then he ends up finding out about Barbara being Batgirl and being pissed that Batman knew about it, but he didn't bother to tell him.
Yeah, because not only are you demanding me to do stuff, not only are you still treating me like a kid, you don't tell me my girlfriend is also a crime fighter when you fully know about it.
Yep.
Yeah, I would have been beyond pissed at that
Yeah.
point.
I did like the new animation for the redesign for his Robin for the sole episode that we get him.
Yeah. Redesigns.
Yep. He looks.
Some were good, some were...
Yeah, we'll talk about the villain's redesign. Of course, should we talk about Batgirl or the other Robin?
Batgirl.
Yep.
Yep. Batgirl, a.k.a. Barbara Gordon, played by Tara Strong.
The last time we talked about her was Loki. Season 1, Miss Minutes.
Yeah.
That's how long it's been.
God, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, we still need to go over season...
Actually, no. Guardians Volume 3.
Oh.
Where she took over the role Miley Cyrus wasn't able to reprise. The AI.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's still been a while. It's still been a couple years.
Yep. So.
But, hey, still fantastic.
Yep.
Still fantastic.
You called in Bruce and Dick's drama.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. Which leads to heartbreak. And all sorts of
Did they essentially break up?
Yeah, essentially. Even though in the episodes where he first we see him as Nightwing, she does pine over him for a bit until the off-screen implications from Batman Beyond. Yep. Yeah, they all were happy until
Brucey Wayne had to take over Batman for a little bit.
Yeah.
I swear.
Yep. Of course, she tries to help out. She does sort of save the day against the villain.
Yeah. Though I do find it weird, a couple of scenes where she's just standing there with her smile. Couldn't they have given her another expression while serious stuff is going on?
And then when Dick Grayson and Robin actually decks him, it's a couple 30 seconds after he did that. It was a very slow reaction to what happened. I can't help stop laughing at that moment afterwards. What? Oh no! Oh, he hit him. It took me 30 seconds. Yeah.
I know some characters have like a stationary stance when they're not doing something important, but come on.
Yeah. Yep, and that was our last time we saw her was in that flashback. Was that reaction thing.
I know.
Yep.
She had a rough time during that season.
Yep.
I mean, between that and then the whole dream where she thought she died, and then her dad hunting down everybody in the Bat family.
Yep. Of course. Let's talk about the new Robin at the time.
Yes. Matthew Valencia.
And the last time we talked about him was Return to Joker.
Yeah, where we saw him get utterly tortured into becoming Joker Jr.
Yep.
And heck, him laughing wasn't actually Matthew.
Yeah, Andre Romano.
Hail to the Queen.
Yep. But he mainly is doing Robin stuff all by himself. One of the few times we see him without Bruce Wayne, without Batman tagging along.
Yeah.
Other than that one time that Batman was missing, that Superman took over. That Superman also had to help get him out of the way in the Superman animated series episode.
God, everybody had to fill in.
Yeah. Yep, and this one is Nightwing filling in for him. Because he only got one out of the two.
True.
And he asked why they broke up. Why Dick and...
Yeah, why did Dick leave?
Yep. Yep. And then, of course, Tim didn't feel that part until Return of the Joker. So he didn't get to experience that.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah. It was a rough time for Tim Drake.
Yeah.
Rough time.
Yep.
But it was cool to see some, brother bonding.
Yep. And we'll get more to this anime version of Tim Drake in a couple reviews from now.
Yep.
In an episode earlier.
I know. Timelines.
Yep. But this is chronologically speaking, this is before his episode. Mostly.
Yeah.
Minus the present day, mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and in the end, they go to help Dick possibly reconcile with Bruce, which I don't think lasts very long. Through the some odd years between that and Heaven Beyond, so yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
True.
Of course, let's talk about the villain.
The Joker, played by Mark Hamill.
Yep.
Now, don't get me wrong. Mark Hamill's still in top form.
Yep.
Still fantastic as the Joker. The only problem... This is during the time of the Batman animated series redesign. Gone is his green hair. Gone is his red lips. They give this man soulless black eyes, black hair, and no lips whatsoever.
Yep.
Who thought that was a good idea?
Can we put that with Bruce Timm also?
At some point, do we all have to become a big unruly mob and like tar and feather this man?
Probably.
Maybe not with tar, but like honey and feather this man.
Yep.
And parade him through a convention in shame.
Yep. Of course, his thing is to disrupt airplanes so they can crash. But he tries to. But he also has one of the henchmen who's just a driver, who gets the brunt of the Joker. Get the brunt of Batman's fury instead of the Joker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though the Joker still has hyenas.
Which is nice that we still got to see them.
Yeah. Yep.
Though where in God's name is Harley?
Oh. Maybe they broke up again at that time.
Was this before she was deemed sane and she left him, or was this before or after?
This is still before. This is also before Return of the Joker, where she apparently died. Remember?
Oh no, she didn't die.
I know. Like I said, she apparently died. So yeah.
Though apparently she ended up getting married and had a child who then had those twins.
Yep.
Lord have mercy.
Yep.
Hey, she got to live to old age.
Yep. But yeah, he beats up Batgirl by just hitting her, and has so Dick Grayson and Robin have to use his motorcycle to go save her. And in the end, he gets caught, which we all know because it's an episodic. He'll be back.
Yeah.
Of course,
He can never keep the Joker down. He always finds a way.
Yeah, he's just a minor inconvenience through the Bruce and Dick drama in this episode.
Yeah. This is mainly, a Batman and Robin story.
Yep. Although it's kind of ironic that every time Robin leaves, he happens to be there. This one.
This is true.
Our upcoming one. And then, of course, Return to Joker. And I wonder if they'll do that with Damian Wayne someday.
You never know.
Yeah. Yep, so, yeah. But let's talk about the good.
Hey, very good adaptation of Dick Grayson's departure as Robin. A very important moment in Batman's, comic book history.
Yep.
Voice acting, fantastic. Mainly Lauren Lester, Kevin Conroy, Tara Strong, even Mark Hamill, despite...
Just being a small role.
Yeah. Of course, the action, fantastic.
Yep. Yeah, I like the early action during the vehicle chase from Batman with the other guy to help ask him where the Joker was.
Yeah.
Of course, when him and Robin jump out and try to get the Joker and his henchmen, I do like that line from the Joker. Either you never heard of a door, you're just like pulling glass out of your shorts. Yeah. Yep, so... And then also, the punch. The literal punch from Dick Grayson. Being so pissed at Bruce.
I'm still a little surprised that they actually animated it, but dear God, they animated it.
Yeah.
And then after that, he threw away the domino mask and the cape and just left. I hope no one noticed that. Why is that Dick Grayson kid wearing a Robin uniform?
Well, we can just assume that he also ripped off the R from his thing, from his uniform.
Are their logos removable off of their suits?
Don't know.
But still, people have seen that uniform a lot. They would still notice.
Yep.
Unless he took some back roads.
Probably did take the back roads.
Just going to Bloodhaven.
Yep. So, want to do the score?
Yeah.
I give this a 9 out of 10. It's great, but not as great as Robin's Reckoning. It's still a good sort of end of the origin story for Dick Grayson. How he left being Robin to go become Nightwing.
I agree with you. I give this a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Very good story. Like you said, not as good as Robin's Reckoning, but a very good story. Very faithful to the original comic book story.
Yep.
So, yeah.
But before we go, we're on to our second Robin.
Yes.
Second Robin / former Robin. This is
Jason Todd, as we discuss Batman Under the Red Hood.
Another one involving the Joker.
Hey, this man said he wanted to traumatize every single one.
Yep. Want to roll us out?
Sure. Well, thank you all for watching. Definitely come back and watch us again. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, and click the post notification bell so you're updated with all of our upcoming videos. Well, cut, print, that's a wrap.